So last time was a really interesting Pluto episode. Really got into the backstory between these two, which was really nice. So I'm assuming today will be a Saturn episode primarily. Day 6, close to the end. Come on, Europa. It's weird when you won't order me. Can't you see I'm hesitating? Show some politeness. It's weird to see you hesitate. You don't do it. Then stop making it more weird, if you please. Let a woman be weird for once. I have no problem returning to the colony. I wouldn't have thought you would have had more hang-ups than me. You have no regrets, no pain, at any of your training or your service in the war? About anything that happened there? About the people you met there? I don't have any problems with returning to the Lagrange colony for this mission. The academy where you shaped us all? No. I'm happy to put it to rest. I was a real idiot, so I don't mind seeing it trashed. We're trashing it a little more to stop that Celestial Mechanics pilot from taking back the Lagrange reactor. Ah, you've taken an interest in Saturn. Professionally. She's a dangerous enemy. Professionally. She was in Apteus' division, but yes. But she was, yes, very clever. The Lagrange reactor is a worthless shard of nostalgia. Apteus must be truly egomaniacal to send that prototype unit after it. That's a bad sign. The worst fights always happen over something worthless. It's clearly a trap, but you know that. It's still a chance to get one over him and stop that pilot, if you're prepared to be serious. I'm always serious. Are you serious enough to stop playing? I'm not playing. Whether you are serious or playing isn't a matter of how you feel about it. It's a matter of whether you are committed or not, or if you're playing because you simply can't decide. You can't play forever. I told you, I still haven't decided. I'm not closing off the future until the last moment. Decide what you want about the future when the future comes. But you will never move from this point if you don't decide how you feel about that pilot. Europa. Oh dear, you are feeling guilty again. Well, that's to be expected. I don't mind if you lose against that one or win. Just choose, right? You don't have to tell me. I know what happens if I don't. I gotta admit, I don't remember which one we did here. But we're gonna fight for real. Not long ago, the Academy Gardens were beautiful, and they were warm. Now they are colder than space. There's no feeling as cold as wet is. Not even vacuum. Under the stability of artificial gravity, Lagrange colony was as Earth. Maybe even a little bit more. In being more Earth than Earth was, it was also less. And so Memorial Foundation Existential Safety ordered it abandoned first when the space program was decommissioned. Not everyone agreed. There was a fight, and then the colony became like this, ruined in a way only human things can be ruined. The reactor was shattered, and with it all possibility for life and culture. Yet still some of it lingers. Moss grows. Objects gather. Sometimes there are whispers, tidal memories, etched into space-time by the humans who spent too short a time there. True space is more of a numb feeling. It's the cold of nothing, and it feels like nothing too. I'm not so lost in nostalgia I can't tell when I'm not alone. know I'm not alone, so say something. Ah, so you did come. You're always close by. And you're always hiding something. You're always just out of reach. Even though I have seen your face, I feel like I haven't. Even though I've shot you through the heart, it feels like I never touched you. Maybe you're just dense, Lunatera. I felt those plenty. I should say that about you, in fact. Lunatera, maybe you're the one who never came close enough to touch me. Touching you. Reaching out. Am I just that good? Or are you holding back? Touching you. Touching you. You're slippery. And you've gotten better, too. What makes you say that? I don't already know where you are this time. I must have been doing pretty awful before then. No, you weren't. But it's still unbelievable that you've gotten so good in such a short amount of time. So I don't believe it. There's no hiding how much I suck, huh? No, the opposite. There's no way you weren't this good before. Eh, that's not true. You've definitely been trained, haven't you? I never fought other pilots. Did you fight something else? That doesn't count. It was nothing but training, and then nothing. The existential threat was never real. It was a trick of the light, and our weapons pierced it with 100% accuracy every time, and no one was ever hurt, and it never became real enough to fight. That's true. It's also true that this isn't a real fight either. You were right when you called it play fighting. These machines weren't ever designed with practicality in mind. They simply aren't made with the intention to kill. I've read plenty of Dr. Nix. I don't need a lecture. And you're not even explaining it right. They did make ship cells with practicality in mind. They made them specifically in a shape that would not allow for death and war. Dr. Nix just didn't want an end to conflict, because that's silly. You can't be human without it. Death defeats the purpose of conflict, which is how humans communicate and change. Death and war and end conflict. The ship self signals the fundamental transformation of human conflict from suffering into love. If you know it, explain it the right way. If you knew Dr. Nix, you might have a harder time taking it seriously. I'm not part of Cradle's graces for a reason, you know. I'm not that dumb. Not that I don't get the appeal of wanting to be that dumb. Just kidding. No, I do too. Pluto has that effect, doesn't she? Yeah, I feel dumb every time. She really makes you want to believe with your whole heart. Even if you never really quite can. And neither can she, all the way through. She just tries very hard. Lunatera, why are you really here? Stop me from taking a worthless artifact? To fall into an obvious trap for another chance at stopping me once and for all? Track up the glory and take all the errant children home from Memorial Foundation? To mess me up? Or to make out with me? Either outcome is preferable. Saturn feels herself growing in Lunatera's eyes. Suddenly, clearly seen. Wasn't I just perfectly clear? What's the ship body for, anyway? I'm here to communicate. Ah, Lunatera, you're really shallow and kinda dumb. I'm honest. Finally. You're lucky, that's enough. Are you ready for that, though? I don't think you're ready. Well, I think I'm ready. You want me to check? I won't give an inch. I'm not like you girls. I'm not a cosmic glow of energy in the dark. Still, I'm metal, and I'm sharp. You really think I'm not like that too? But I'm already behind you. Oh. It's a double lie, because the movement is to her left, and Saturn is coming from behind. LT's instincts are too good for her to not twitch fire to her left, even as she realizes it's just bullshit. Then there's nothing. A feeling of being so close to being struck that she can't tell if she was or not. Are you really not like us girls? I'm nothing special, like I said. But you dodged it. Pouty face. It wasn't real. Nothing to dodge. Obviously, that's the part that's hard. I'm fighting for real, just like you wanted. You're the one who wants that. And fine, dodge this. Woo! Lunatera's vision fills with pink, the neuroelectric toxin melting into her skin. It feels hallucinatory, weird, stubborn, aggressive, vulnerable. Just like Saturn. In the poison electric haze, Lunatera feels a little like Saturn. Ha! Gotcha! I like being wrong sometimes, you know? I like not being Memorial Foundation's perfect ace. Doesn't seem to really suit you, if I'm being perfectly honest. Neither does playing by the rules. If ship's elves don't play by the rules when you're fighting, it stops looking like fighting. Oh yeah? What does it start looking like? Also, that's not where I am. Liar. Are you willing to bet on it? Yeah? Then go. Woo! Stakes of hard light are fine for flirting. That's not what this is. The Maricrisium spear, made for reconciling the Earth and the Moon, is meant to be used up close. It's a distance where skin touches skin, the obligation that humans have for other humans. Hard like gravity, warm like light. If no one has been worse at wielding that duty than Lunatera, she's all the more the one who should be carrying that weight. Saturn only realizes after, when the lightness and heaviness starts to lift, that it had hit her, too. Wow, I didn't think it was even possible to have a gravity less suited to you, let alone for you to be so good at using it. I really hate being in charge, actually, and I'm bad at it, too. Sometimes you're the only one left who can do it. And if you hate it, and it's totally self-destructive, especially then. Sometimes I think, why do we have to fight anymore? Let's just do this obscene other thing. Think that fighting could be. And then you say something like that, and I want to fight you so bad. You wouldn't get it. You're hilarious. It makes me want to see you squirm. Like, in a nice way, though. You can try. What? It's just funny. I love it when you play cool. 'Cause you're not. Let's communicate aggressively. That's what humans do. Sure, I've already given up on that worthless reactor. They're never gonna scold me enough to make me regret this. The deadline's almost here. If we shut down the lunar gravity well, then they'll have to come home. The note that Earth is about to bring actual weapons in to do some actual killing. Kratos Graces wants to bring the humans in space together with the humans on Earth by destabilizing Earth's gravity. That was the big twist of the Kratos Graces round. Celestial Mechanics go into the lunar gravity well to open it, to invert their tidal reactors. Ooh, report. Report data unverifiable. Awaiting manual acceptance. Report accepted. Damage to Lagrange colony indicates most likely fulfillment of duties. Incoming alert. All Memorial Foundation troops. Prepare for landing on Moonbase. Alert. Kratos Graces and Celestial Mechanics troops have seized control of the gravity well. We must prepare for the confrontation we have always feared, but there's still hope. We'll bring everyone home, safe. We have Earth on our side. We will Be prepared. Generating new assignments. Assignment. Scouting mission. Verify status of Earth-controlled autonomous military units. Well, assignment. Free time. Spend as you wish before the final battle. Your record is clear. Indicate you have understood new orders. Oh, we're no longer penalized. Yes. Ready for gravitational catapult. Welcome home. Now we're slowly working our way back to Earth. Oh, fuck's face. Oh. Lost story. Oh no. Loss. Ambient tidal forces. A and B. I was waiting for this chance. Me too. Thanks for obliging. Anytime. But I'd love for this to be the last time. Oh yeah? Do you have a plan for arranging that? Or are we just gonna fight forever, without end? Do you win when your win ratio tips over 50%? It's climbing for sure. I can't deny it. You're slipping. Getting lazy? I'm just bored. I don't want to win an argument. I don't want to win a fight. I just wish you were dead, okay? Me too. I can't kill you. I don't really want to either. Well, same. Man, don't talk like Neath. You know that pisses me off. Don't say their name then, maybe. Maybe they died because they were tired of us having the same fight over and over again forever? Oh, Neath. That's the pilot who threw themselves into the lunar gravity well. Don't say their name then, maybe. Maybe they died because they were tired of us having the same fight over and over again forever? Are you kidding? They lived for it. Man, what a bitch. I know, right? I really miss them. Me too. Want to fight about it? Man, jeez. Sure, I get it. Is this... ambient title information? You know what? Fuck space. It's complete garbage. A secret no one here ever wants to admit is that space is boring and empty. It's desolate and lifeless. It's not romantic and it doesn't care about us. They embellish dull gray photographs of dust with beautiful colors. Just to pull our heartstrings, but the reality is nothing different, but different shades of gray, the palest colors. But you know what? That's not even the most embarrassing part. The most embarrassing part is that humans can't do anything better than imagine spaces just like Earth, but a little different. Filled with people who are like us, but a little different. Well, hey, guess what? That's just Earth, idiots. You're projecting. Why do you need space to think about Earth? Why are you ignoring all the people and places on Earth that are like you, but a little different? Why is that dream more important than us? We're supposed to have dreams. We're not supposed to just live in them. That's why I'm breaking up. I want to go home. Humans can't do anything better than imagine spaces just like Earth, but a little different. Full of people who are like us, but a little different. I mean, if we can use all that imagining of space to learn to accept people out there who are like us but a little different, then maybe we'd get some good out of it. Maybe it would be worthwhile in the end, but there's plenty of people on Earth who are like us but a little different, and we just... Oh, you've had more than a few fights with that Celestial Mechanics pilot at this point, haven't you? Yes, fights, exactly. Including that fight where she kind of broke into my cockpit and we may have made out a little bit. You've really met your match. In terms of troublesomeness, I think she has me beat. Did you know her? Saturn, a Generation 3 pilot? Was only in charge of combat operations, and the third generation never saw combat, even against the existential threat. Of course I knew her, though. She was one of Apteus's top candidates. Used a variety of methods to artificially jumpstart extreme tidal sensitivity and otherwise unremarkable pilot candidates. I thought none of it worked. The first ship cells had manual controls. To bridge the gap between your intentions and the energy of the tidal reactor is a complex language, conversation between yourself and the machine with advanced mathematics. Use your hands, but it's a fundamentally mental approach. Dr. Nix wanted to achieve communication through the soul. Teus, however, felt that direct interface with the body would be most efficient. Teach the body, and the mind and soul would follow. Dr. Nix communicates through the soul, Epteus through the body, Europa through the mind. It sounds dangerous. Also made up. It's all made up. There was nothing inherently wrong in using the body as a primary medium. However, he inflicted the intentions of the ship cells on the pilots, rather than teaching them to express their intentions outward. He wanted subjects, not actors. It's impossible to read the rhetoric of his methodology any other way. Subjects, not actors. Wanted them at the mercy of the will of the ship self. Your ship self to control you instead of the other way around. That doesn't make sense when I say it like that, but was Saturn particularly resistant? Is that why she was downgraded from primary candidate? No, she was intensely loyal, like another pair of hands and eyes for Epteus. It was the opposite. She accepted all of those intentions perfectly. She was perfect. You see the problem, don't you? A doll like that doesn't have the will to compete in tidal conflict. Why are you telling me this? He realized in the end he had created someone as boring as he was. Oh. It took a long time for you to learn how to be a person, after having been forced to be someone else. Don't forget how to be tender to Hellions, Lunatera. That's an interesting bit of relationship advice. That's an interesting bit of Saturn lore just kind of dropped on us here. It seemed like everyone in that generation was loyal to Epteus and the intentions, the things that he had promised them. With celestial mechanics. Epteus was also a complete monster, but as she seemed to have been disillusioned after being downgraded. I do remember what we did last time for this. This time we're going to do the bad idea. The fleet's already in motion. Are you ready? No problem. I'm only worried about that trickster from Celestial Mechanics. No end of trouble. You don't sound too unhappy about that. I suppose that trouble will end soon, one way or another. It's simply recon this time. It's on the near side of the moon. An Earth military is there, with autonomous devices. They are in very high orbit. They will descend rapidly if they notice gravitational variability. The ship self is a shape intended for humans to exist in space, outside of Earth's pull. It isn't intended for war. The military is here with that most direct of intentions, so don't let them achieve it. Funny that the planetary sphere doesn't seem to think we're on the same side. There is nothing funny about it. We are not on the same side. We are complicating the problem. We can't let it go as much as Cradle's Graces or Celestial Mechanics can. Earth has graciously allowed us considerable leeway in dealing with the closing of the space program on our terms. Broken and naive as they find this, Memorial Foundation International begged them to let us try to bring the wayward children back home bloodlessly. So you should be thankful that they are just watching, and not descending to rout us. Most of Earth would find any loss of human life to space unacceptable, but less and less of Earth considers us fully human. So the mission isn't just to protect any stragglers from getting themselves killed by the forces we're trying to save them from. You don't think we can trust them? If I trusted them to handle it, I would not have led you, the children of space, to fight this conflict. Do you think we can do it? Bring everyone back to Earth? There's a reason I am not having you interfere with the opening of the gravity well. Everyone will be in one place at last. At least. What Celestial Mechanics and Cradle's Graces hope will be their salvation could be ours too. We're on a tight deadline for something that might be impossible. Win what's in front of you and worry about that later. Last time we had a peaceful hideout here. This time, on the other hand, gonna tear that machine to pieces. Whoa, it seems almost like it can't be a coincidence bumping into you again. Fancy seeing you here. A likely story, but please stay down. It's closing in. I think wants to murder us very badly. It wants to kill. Yep. Aren't you itching to fight it? The autonomous military unit is waiting for opportunities, it seems. But it's really just reacting to conditions and responding with protocol. Its inevitability, gravity, law. Humans can be pretty unambiguous, which is why if you want something done precisely, you must teach it only a sliver of what humans know. If you want someone dead without complication, you need to remove nuance first. It doesn't have any kind of morality system or decision-making process. It's very non-discriminatory. Just gravity, nothing else. It's a gun and not much else. So maybe you should stop harassing it so much? It's annoying, though. I want to bully it. I promised that I wouldn't tangle with something if it was really life or death. Well, it is. Now that I'm here, I'm too tempted. I just absolutely want to tear it to pieces. Completely destroy. Like it wants to destroy me. You ever feel like that? Even when you're terrified? Especially then. But it's not worth fighting. Not at all. Even a little. It's like fighting gravity, or a whole planet. What can you call winning against something like that? There are a million more. You can't have a real argument with something like that. They sent autonomous troops before because they didn't want to have one in the first place. They just wanted to kill. It just goes to show they really don't care what happens to space or anyone in it. Or they do. And they want this badly to believe they don't. You're going to hate this, but that makes me wish I could crush them even more. Sorry. There has to be a way, right? Oh, hello. Unlike a ship self, the autonomous military unit doesn't have a shape that remotely resembles a person. There's no need for that, obviously. You would give something a human shape only if you wanted it to be able to express the fullness of being a human. War's never been fought like that. Military technology is designated. Oh, it's designed to narrow available. Whoa. Military technology is designed to narrow available resources in order to efficiently execute a single specific function. Giant robots have never been practical for war. What's necessary is a single vector pointed in a certain, inflexible, fixed direction. The autonomous military unit may not look human, but that is human. A single, uncomplicated human thought. Die. I'm worried that telling you this will just encourage you, so I shouldn't. Feels like a bad idea. They're not invincible or almighty against us, even if they're incredibly, overwhelmingly powerful. Especially here, in the liminal zones of the moon. Not ever. Not anywhere. It's nice to hear even you get mad about it. I understand the math. We're risking our lives and our personhood, and they're not. It's very one-sided. Humans are cowards. That makes me want to fight even more. Oh no. I'm saying it's not worth it. The statement will be lost on Earth. They've got an endless number of drones. But you can destroy them, right? I'm not asking if there's a point. I don't care about that. I'm asking if we can. Let me know how you did it, right? Because you have. You really don't know, Saturn. You just don't. And you never will. You can wish and wish, and fight, but Earth will never let us go. 9.8 meters per second squared is what we are bound to. The gravity of Earth. I completely botched that last time this came up in conversation. My high school is ashamed. Your weight and mine are nothing compared to that speed. We can't even scratch the surface. But you are right. It was stupid. When I was with Cradle's Graces, I destroyed one. Pluto made me promise to never risk my life over something like that again. That's a huge brag. Given all that, kind of a crazy thing to do. Why? Not that I think it doesn't rule. I was feeling the same way you were feeling. Pure spite. I'm not quite as bad anymore. At least I'm trying not to be. Sometimes things just happen, but I know that feeling. It's easy to bet your life when you don't care whether you lose it or not. If we fight together, we'll be betting on each other. It doubles the risk, and there's still no point. Is there really no point to it, though? Useless, okay, that's true. But not pointless. You're so clever, Lunaterra, that you have outsmarted yourself. And now you're believing there's no meaning in fighting against that blind and unstoppable force. Definitely know what battles I want to fight. Sorry, just enjoying this awesome music. The senseless eye of the autonomous weapon fixates on their location, but the strict probe doesn't give it time to get inquisitive. Saturn's closing the distance, cheating distances. Reflexively attempts to close distance too, but its calculations seem to be constantly just off. Saturn, come back! What did I say? Were you listening to yourself? Aren't we doing this? Are you gonna prove my point or what? It's no big deal for you, right? You've done it before, right? It'll be twice as easy now. So don't make me fight it alone. That'll be fucked up. It'll be heroic if it's the two of us. So come on, enable me. Enable my self-destructive tendencies. Don't you want me to not end up like you? Don't you want to not end up like you? The autonomous military unit is extremely simple. It fires a simple burst of metal directly at a cockpit. A particle unaffected by gravity. Instantly lethal. It takes all of the drama and expression out of fighting. The ultimate anticlimax. That's why true combat is ugly, arbitrary, horrifying. A struggle for power in absolute terms. Not a romance. like fighting in a perfect robot campaign. It's only because you did something so stupid that I'm joining you. A blue, elusive streak, unmistakable, but impossible to pin down, follows Saturn. Liar, fake, hypocrite. You've never smiled as much before as you are right now. Against even a single autonomous unit, not dying starts out hard and keeps getting harder. Saturn can cheat the distance. It's the reason she isn't instantly dead. Her targeting is flawless and predictive, based on clear indentations made in space-time culture by gravity. But Saturn just cheats. Every time she changes the math. And every time it adjusts to correct, it keeps getting smarter and harder. Still, Saturn does the math better than it can. Lunaterra will die if she thinks to herself about what's happening for even a single second. So she doesn't. She verbs instead. Do this, do that, make it real, make it happen, don't think or blink. Simply and possibly always be doing, always be being, don't get hit, never die. Nothing like life or death to instantly remind you that being alive is great. But in that state you can become infinitely capable of fighting tooth and nail no matter what. When Mari Chrysium's hard light slugs hit the unit's chassis, it miscalculates, dips in motion, but it's undeterred. It can endure much more than that. Lunaterra respects that and fires 12 dozen more, as point blank as possible. No time for mercy, so increase the output more than should be possible. Defensive insulation keeps it protected from the string of pearl's electrotoxins. All the string of pearls can leave is a series of bleeding, oozing, hot pink pinpricks. Nothing but scratches until there are so many of them that they count just scratches anymore. There's no limit to how mean she can get. It's something else fighting like this. I wasn't ready. You're doing amazing. You're unreal. You have to be, otherwise you're dead. Don't let up, don't stop, keep going. It's the only way. Every approach and hit counts. You gotta be perfect. Funny, we just got done talking about being perfect. The autonomous military unit is fast. Faster than I've ever been. But isn't faster than coincidence. It's not fast enough to protect someone who's not even thinking. And it's not faster than cheating. Saturn works her whole hand into its guts and comes out with a fistful. Oh, damn. Whoa. There's dozens of redundant components designed to withstand unreal trauma and continue fighting. There's a slight decay as the failsafes switch circuits. That moment is time enough for Lunaterra to plunge her iridescent blade into flailing sensors that burn into white light. Even torn in half, ripped apart in both ways by a division of light and dark, undone, the autonomous unit still moves. The only way they will win is to be completely thorough. Pull the guts out every which way, never show mercy, and never let go until they've bathed in it head to toe. At the end, they don't even realize when the moment comes that they were still alive. They had won. Are you finally satisfied? God, it was worse than I remember. No idea how I did it alone. I feel incredible. Beyond satisfied. If I didn't feel almost dead, I'd be begging you to do that all over again. I knew it'd just encourage you. Shows the good I did. You know, Lunaterra, I'm fighting. No matter what. No matter who wins. I know the best I can hope for is half of what I won. I'm not here for a realistic outcome. Even if that's all we get. I'm just gonna fight. Forever. With perfect greed. Until I get everything. I don't know if I can be that cool. When it comes down to it, I won't stop either. It's very fitting. Darn, we can't. That'll get us up to 75%. If we had... Assuming we side with Memorial Foundation here. We're out of chances to side with Celestial Mechanics, so we can't exactly get a different ending at this point, but... It's telling how her last event pretty much sets up her ending. Fighting this hard, knowing that I'm only really gonna get 50% of what I want, but I'll be damned if that's gonna stop her. Only getting 50% of what she wants, because Apteus' end goal, he wants to hijack in order to satisfy his own nefarious ends and go back to Earth and be a hero for giving them something to unite against. Saturn says, fuck that. Turns around and makes themselves something better. Something more. The existential threat. It was composed of solid light and arrived in multitudes. It never arrived in the same shape, pattern, or texture twice. They were memorable, but indistinct. They were like and unlike things that we have seen on Earth, and they could not be touched except through gravity. We could not determine where they came from, but they always headed toward Earth. We feared what would happen if they passed into Earth too much to learn what their intentions were for coming here were. And our pilots defeated them without fail, without any hesitation, without any resistance, flawlessly, beautifully, obviously. The truth has always been that the existential threat is much weaker than humans, no matter what we call it. There was a refusal to name precisely, at all times, the substance and nature of the existential threat. First of all, by referring to it as the existential threat, more a foundation international jargon, rather than by common local cultural names. The boogeyman. For example, I'm assuming. From the failures of the scout program on Earth, there was a desire to both separate the pilots as much as possible from earthly preconceptions. Failures of the scout program on Earth, there was a desire to both separate the pilots as much as possible from earthly preconceptions. We did this to understand the new ways in which our pilots could be human, and we did this also to understand how the existential threat would change in corresponding ways, complementing their new humanity. Existential threats were always weaker than us, but in ways that we do not, and they are always waiting in the corners of the world, looking to overcome us in other ways. In the case of the existential threat as it existed in space, we created a weapon, the Crud Macula, powerful enough to defeat them once and for all, single-handedly, and we did so. And we lost every reason to be in space, and we ended all mystery and possibility. So it is surprising that in filling the void, it became the pilots who took the role of the existential threat, as is known to occur on rare occasions on Earth. Remember, the existential threat is intrinsic to humanity, and it's humanity's nature to decide just what precisely they consider human. So by creating a machine so utterly universally powerful, thought in my mind is that it's so universally powerful that the universe is no longer unknown. Therefore, the only things remaining in space that were unknown to the people on Earth were the pilots. And as a result, pilots raised up there in space. As a result, they became the quote-unquote existential threat. That which we consider alien. Interesting. Unfortunate. That they've fallen that far, but intrinsic to humanity. Ooh. Did you notice, Lunaterra? Our base now is not far from the Sea of Crises, where your ship self was made and you first sortied. It's nostalgic, isn't it? Ha! It is, isn't it? Reminds me when we were fighting some theoretical alien existential threat, and not each other. Would you prefer those days? I don't think so. I definitely wouldn't. I like being less stupid. Fighting with people is better than not even thinking about people at all, instead of fantasies. Aren't you going to say that's still your problem? I know when I drilled you like little soldiers, I taught you the opposite too well, but I wouldn't mind if you had second thoughts. Europa, do you feel guilty? We should all feel guilty, but me and my peers especially. We caused this conflict to be played out, and we failed to teach you well enough to endure it. The future we had hoped you would live in was much too childish for you. I know. I'm not upset about that. I would never have come back here, by your side again. I don't want your guilt. Or my guilt. What do you need, Lunaterra? I would like you to give me your orders. Without guilt, or regret, or expectation. Of course. Though I've raised you terribly, Lunaterra, I've also always been quite proud of you. She's always been so good, it's scary. I can't deal with good kids. That was Nyx's job. Heh, true. I don't hear a reason to trust me? Or are you going to ground me? You're my student, Lunaterra. I don't have to trust you. Trusting you is none of my concern. I can't keep you out of trouble anymore, or even tell you what to do. I can only advise my last remaining student. Whether you listen to me or not, or to that girl or not, whether you fulfill your duty to Memorial Foundation, or betray us once more. You're getting too permissive in your old age. Oh, I've always been permissive, and I've always been old. I thought you said I was in charge. I will advise you no matter what decision you make, Lunaterra. And not quietly. And what's your advice, since I'm just going to do it? Don't get out of dealing with your ex by indulging your death wish. She's not my ex. Halamede? Were you not together? Or is it not over? My advice is to not leave things ambiguous this time. We only have one day left, and we still have that lingering over us. I wonder if these conversations change just because... depending on where we go. I mean, there is still the matter of... obviously, we have history with Pluto. So a lot of the conversations here do end up dealing with the unknown factor, Saturn. I guess this is our final communication with Europa. Whether you listen to me or not, to the girl or not, whether you fulfill your duty to Memorial Foundation Atreus once more. I can only advise my last remaining student. Don't get out of dealing with your ex by indulging with your death wish. I suppose next time, as we finish off Lunaterra's route, we indulge our death wish.